So, just about done with this sickness now. They were all recovering apart from one, which was the little fantail there. That's the smallest fantail. Now, before we jump to conclusions here, I didn't manage to get footage on the rest. So, we're down to, without that one, 31 birds. And that was the only one that was looking funny. As you can see, the droppings are getting a lot harder, and I started taking the powder out. I'm not putting the powder down when I'm cleaning so I can compare it. We're getting a little bit of down on the top of the poo. There's still some birds getting harder, but still a little bit green. I don't expect them just to recover overnight once, you know, they're not being sick. So what happened afterwards was I was getting worried that because I've got one of the birds here, and I don't know if I put on some footage already, but it was limping around. Like this one here. This is the last one doing it now. Go on then. And see how it's struggling to walk? Now you'd think broken leg, something like that. It's not. And after extensive research, I mean, I was worried about PMV, salmonella, all that sort of stuff. But after extensive research, I summed it all up. So you put the whole story together. They were bred in the winter, very little sunlight. I've then put them straight on the darkness, very little sunlight. So they're not absorbing any vitamin D3. They got sick. So I kept them on the dark, but they weren't getting let out, so they couldn't absorb any sunlight from there. I also listened to somebody on Facebook who said, nah, you need to take the grits and all sorts away. Shouldn't have listened, I should have asked the vet first, because I didn't need to. And what's happened in the end is they've had a calcium deficiency. You might think, what's vitamin D or D3 got to do with calcium? So, vitamin D3 is absorbed into the body or the blood or whatever from the sun. That is then used to convert other minerals into calcium in the bird's blood. Without the calcium, you've got to remember these are going through the mold. It's like your fingernails and your hair. You use calcium to grow that sort of stuff. These are molten. They're using the exact same thing with the feathers. And what I thought was paralysis wasn't paralysis. It was just the bones are getting incredibly weak because they had a massive deficiency. So immediately I put that stuff back in. You can see this little fella still jumping around. He had a bit more weight on him, or she had a bit more weight on her. The other fantail was really thin. And I mean, it wasn't being sick or anything, so I know it's just too far gone with the calcium deficiency. Whereas this one, it's picking up and slowing down, then it's picking up and slowing down a little bit. So I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt over the weekend. The rest of the birds are absolutely fine. I mean, they're challenging each other and stuff like that. Little Hugo's the last fantail, but he was bred a lot earlier than the other two. So he was a first round as well, so his immunity will be a lot stronger. Plus he was an only nest, an only bird in a nest. So I've extended the sunlight anyway for 2 hours a day, just to give them that extra bit of sunshine while they're in. Because don't think it's sorted immediately, it's not. I need to rebuild them before I start letting them out again. I need to get protein in them, get them fattened up, because should they go out and get lost, they're then too thin to hold themselves for a few days. I mean, it looks like the majority of these are going to be cocks. They're all starting to behave that way now, but they're like a new set of birds altogether. Honestly, the last sort of 2 weeks of this, it's been literally the most heartbreaking time in my life. You wouldn't believe what I've went through. It turns out it's entirely my own fault. Not the virus was going to get caught anyway, but the treatment of the virus. Yes, I've used the treatments that I was told to use, but I mean, the vet didn't say whether to or not take the stuff away, so I should have just assumed no, and somebody said on Facebook you have to, and I just listened. So if there's one thing I can ask you is please, please, please don't listen to people on Facebook. And it's that simple, because they're not a registered vet, and I could have ended up treating for all kinds if I'd have done that in the first place, but obviously the drop-ins with a microscope can tell you a lot more. As you can see, little Hugo there, he's challenging and stuff. It was looking like he was having like neurological signs of PMV, but when you do look right into it, the calcium deficiency and vitamin D3, that actually mimics the exact same symptoms. So when I came up ready to cull these, PMV being a very, very nasty disease, bands racing and everything, I came up ready to cull them all, just to save the stock birds, because it's a viral infection that can be spread very easily, and trust me, you will not be very popular in your club if you've got to report it. And it just broke us, but I spoke to my partner John, and he told us just hold out till tomorrow till we can get them looked at. And sure enough, when I did the research and found it was a deficiency, I emailed the vet, and he told us, he says, yes, well, if they continue to improve, just stick with your original appointment, because I booked an appointment for next Saturday. I booked that basically to have the drop-ins retested, just so I know they've got nothing. I'd rather know they had nothing than know what they had, if you know what I mean. I don't know if that sounds a bit dodgy, but it's better to be safe than sorry. And like I say, it's like £5 for a blood test and 13 for a poo test, but it's a fully qualified vet doing it. So anyway, what I'm going to do is rebuild these slowly with the food. I can't just hammer them with the hard stuff straight away. I do have to build them back up slowly, but once I've got them fattened up, I'm thinking maybe a week or so I'll get them back out and get them back on it, and 2 weeks from now get them vaccinated as well against PMV, because that was a scare. I bought the vaccinations actually the day before I walked into them all being ill, so quite ironic really. But like I say, they don't have PMV, they don't have salmonella, it's purely a deficiency in the minerals. So while we're in here as well, the grits I used to replace, I don't think you can see them properly there. Basically, you've got the red block, it's redstone, it's exactly the same as the pecking blocks, just it's not in a solid form, you get it in a bag. Standard grit, that's mixed grit. I'll give them yellow block and black mineral powder. That's all the stuff they should have all the time, but like I say, I took it away for treatment. I've put 2 lots in, so one bird or one group of birds doesn't get everything. As you can see on the floor here, they've been hammering that mineral powder, but at the same time I'm using the Aviform 11-in-1 Total Health Aviform Ultimate, which that stuff specifically has vitamin D3 in it, and before that I was using a multivitamin tablet as well. And I've took the perspex off the windows, so when the shutters are open during the day, there's a lot more sunshine coming through and filtering through. I'm thinking about leaving this like that, because on a night time when you close them, it's obviously covered over and they're sheltered. And I've removed the paper off the vents to let more air in. As at the minute, just keeping the birds alive and keeping them healthy is more important than keeping them on the dark, I think. So it's handy to have if you've got an aviary, just to test, see if you've got any sicknesses. You've got to remember, along with physical illness, the birds suffer mental illness as well. They get depressed just the same as we do, and they suffer the same symptoms. They get diarrhea and stuff like that. So if you can get them out, get them in the bath and just watch them, see how they're going on. If a bird goes in the bath, it's generally physically healthy. Got the wattles on the nose or their beak. if that's white, generally physically healthy. I mean, this might be right or wrong, but this is just what I've found. They dull off. This one here's lying down, but she always lies down. Generally, most of them will perch. As you can see, this one lying down as well. But all they're doing is sunbathing. This is why you need to know your birds. If that bird there was lying down and it usually perched, I'd know there was something going on. Straight away there. I've just watched him have a poo, and it's in a ball. I'm not going to argue with colour and stuff at the minute because they've just been ill, but it's in a ball. It's going the right direction, and that's all I can ask at the minute of them. But it's a nice sunny day, and it always does them good to get out in it. I just can't let them out because they've been sick and they need to put some weight on. It's been 2 weeks since I let them out with the sickness, so there's still a few of them sitting there. I'm not going to force them out though. If you can see with them ones, they're absolutely pelting around. It's a nice hot sunny day, and they're making a really good time of it. You can always tell when they're having a good time. They don't just go in circles, they zigzag side to side, drop down as they're flying, and they really compete with each other, which this lot are doing. And you can just see the enthusiasm in them as they're going around. So yeah, I'm down to 30 birds altogether. That's including Hugo the Fantail. I got him through it. So hopefully the rest go up. Oh crap, I need to check the time anyway. I'm only going to leave them out for half an hour because I don't want them getting overstressed with it being their first time out. They've only just put a little bit of weight on, so I don't want them going for hours because that'll drop back off them and knock them bad again. Obviously I control if they decide to go away for hours, like, but aye, so hopefully that's it over and done with. So all that being said anyway, I think I'm going to bite the bullet with this and call this the last young bird sickness upload, because it's a lot of footage to be taken. I'm doing the videos for while I'm taking care for the birds, and what's left look okay, obviously, apart from that other one, but I'll include him in the loft updates. I will resume standard loft updates, and I'm going to continue getting footage for Project Yellow as well, which if you haven't seen, in fact you won't have seen it because I haven't uploaded it yet, I've decided to try and get yellow birds out of me yellow hen and a red cock, so I've put them together in the other loft. But I'll upload all that and I'll create links and stuff at a later date for you. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, take care of your birds, and remember, any sickness, use a vet. Thank you.